If my microphone goes out at any point, I was a dummy and I accidentally broke it a little bit. There goes the bow. Okay, so imagine my surprise when I am scrolling. I'm scrolling on a police report kind of thing, and
Rylee loves true crime.
oh, I love true crime.
She
That
loves
is what
it.
today we are talking about. But
Mhm.
I came across a mugshot and I was like, wow, I know this person. So I clicked the mugshot and it is a 22-year-old female who was
Mm.
arrested for disseminating inappropriate images to a 14-year-old child.
And what was her job?
She was the teacher,
And the student?
special needs.
Mm.
Mm.
And you went to school with her? Or
Yeah, her older sister. Older
oh
sister.
my god. What was it like seeing her face?
She's a very pretty girl. So the thing that got me though was the comments. So the comments,
Oh
I'm just gonna
no.
say it. I'll say it right now. If this was a man, the comments would not have been the same. If this was a man who had done that, like it would have been a lot different. But because she's a
Mhm.
pretty girl, all the comments, the top comment was "I can fix her." Don't know what the fuck that
Oh.
means.
Oh boy.
They should, in my opinion, also be in prison because what the fuck? What the fuck?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, she was released on bail. Um, yeah, she was released on bail. I think she just has to make like an appearance, and then she'll probably be added to like the registry. So,
Oh my god, for being a pedo.
oh yeah, she'll never step foot in a school again.
Oh my god. You know, it's funny that not that this is funny. Do you watch South Park?
I don't. Never actually watched it, but I know
There
the concept.
Yeah, there's an episode where like the teacher is like a kindergarten teacher and she's like an attractive female and she's like having a romantic and otherwise relationship with Ike, who's like Stan's younger brother. And every time he goes and like Stan's like, "Oh my god, this is disgusting." And he goes to the police and they're like, "Oh, the kindergarten teacher, but she's hot."
Yeah, ew. Like it's gross. There was
Yeah.
okay, cannot think of the name of it. It was a high school though. It was a high school teacher and a high school student, but they were together. They were together. He was like fully in love with her. Everything
Ugh.
ended up coming out when she got pregnant. She ended up going to prison. When she obviously had the baby and everything. When she was released from prison, they got
Mhm.
married.
Oh
Think they made a
my
move they
god.
made a movie about it. She was like 50 something and he was like 20 something at the time. Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That is insane. I feel like there's such a thing where we're so like we naturally think about that being like a guy to a younger girl, but
Yeah.
it like for me it's like there's 100%. I think it's like a 50-50 thing. It's an equal opportunity like creeper basically. Like I
Yeah.
don't think it specifies like one sex or the other.
In
And
schools, I feel like it's more females than males in schools. Like it's the teacher. I feel like I can't think off the top of my head. That's a lie. I actually know someone who's dad. But like I feel like a lot of the times it's female teachers.
do you feel like because they're a woman that they kind of like the advances when they're starting off can kind of get brushed off
Yes.
if it's from like an older woman to a younger male.
I think a lot of it can be like covered up as like he's going ham on a bone right now. Bobo, I'm gonna take this. Um, I feel like a lot of it can be like passed off as like, oh, I was just being nice. I was just being friend. Don't think about it. Bro. I moved it behind
We're
my.
not editing this out. We're
It's fine.
keeping it.
It's fine. Sassafras. What was I saying?
That it
Oh,
can
it
be
can be
passed off
passed
as like
off as
flirting or
yeah,
like
like it
or
can be
being nice.
passed yeah, it can just be passed off as like being nice, like, oh, like I was just being friendly, like I wasn't flirting, like yada yada, like blah blah blah. I don't know. I think it's gross. I think it's gross regardless whether you're a male or a female. I think you need to and you will end up on a registry and in prison for a very, very long time.
How do you feel about her being able to get bail off something? Do you think if it was a guy that he would be getting bail?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But has there been cases where that has happened? Yeah, I'm sure.
Do you think, like, in jail, you know how there's, like, the thing, like, if you're a guy and you have any crimes with children that you're kind of, like, targeted?
Oh,
Do
there's like
you
a hierarchy in prison.
Yeah. Do you think that a woman, though, doing that same crime is gonna get the same prison reaction from her
Yes.
other female? You do think so?
Have you never watched Orange is the New Black?
Girl, I watched it when it first came out. That was a lot to digest in a show.
It was. But
That was a lot to digest in a show, and you can't say that a TV show is representative of stuff because you don't see, like, I feel like it's in
I
the
quote Grey's
culture.
Anatomy all the time. In my classroom, I quote Grey's Anatomy all the time.
Girl.
It's so good.
Oh my god. I feel like we know so much about kind of, like, the male hierarchy in terms of crimes and, like, punishment within a prison environment. I feel like it's not really talked about as much in, like, women's prisons. Like, is it the same thing?
I think any
Yes.
type of like child's toucher is always going to be at the top. Any type of like,
Mhm.
oh, actually, what the frick is her name? The lady that drowned all 4 of her children in the bathtub.
Oh,
It's not Jodi Arias. I was going to say Jodi Arias. She's the one who killed her boyfriend.
you're good with the names.
Oh, yeah, girl. I got them locked and loaded. We got
You
lots to
are
talk about.
you are good with the names. The only one I can think of when you say that is that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Gilbert Grapes?
No, he had, like, had a wife and she, like, drowned them and unalived them.
Woman who drowned. I think it's Jody.
Jody's on a vacation far away.
We don't sing for this, Jody.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Andrea Yates.
Andrea Yates.
Andrea Yates. So she had 5 children. She had 5 children. She individually brought all of the children in to and this was in 2001. She individually brought all of the children into the bathtub and drowned them. She was, oh my goodness. She was very quickly, her youngest was very young. It was deemed that she was in postpartum psychosis. And that was why she did it. And then she was later diagnosed with schizophrenia. I don't know if she pled insanity or not.
What do you postpartum?
Postpartum psychosis. So different types of postpartum that we can talk about. The most common one that people talk about is like postpartum depression. Like, you know, it's a rate. It's a rage of hormones.
Oh my god! Rylee's having a hard day over there. She's got a lot going on. Oh my
Bo's
god.
going crazy, sir. Okay. Is this good? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
postpartum depression is the most common thing. Postpartum anxiety, postpartum rage, and postpartum psychosis.
I've
But
seen clips of the rage online. I've seen that. It's very, very sad to
yeah.
see. And it can either come from hormones or it can come from other things. It can come from like a lot of different places. My brain, when it goes to it, it's like you have the baby inside and then the baby's like out, and then there's like kind of a loss of like either connection or that maybe you're failing as a parent. And also both parents, male, like mom and dad, can have um, a type of depression after a newborn is made or after a newborn is delivered. And in the Air Force, I do believe there was a young airman. I worked with her, and she created an Air Force wide initiative where when the mom brings newborn in, the mom was getting screened for like new parent kind of depression. And she now made it so that both the mom and the dad are getting screened. Yeah.
I knew that the mom always got screened, but I didn't know that it was the dad as well.
Yeah, so she just started that, and you know how long things can take a while to get completely Air Force wide implemented. Went all the way up, got approved, starting to get implemented, and I think that was the official announcement as of 2 years ago.
Awesome.
So yeah, so that's a new thing.
That's super cool. Shout out to her. Shout out to her for
It's also June. It's men's mental health awareness month. So
Oh, it is. Yes, yes,
it
yes, 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 yes,
is.
yes.
So good time to mention that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, who else do we got here? Susan Smith, 1994. She put both of her young sons in the back of a car and then idled her car into the lake. Called 911 herself, and she was like, "Oh my goodness, they took my car. It was a carjacking, and they drowned like my boys." Um, that's how she framed it. She was the one who did it.
That is disgusting.
She was sentenced to death, but spent her life in prison.
What's your opinion on the unalive sentence?
I'm for it.
You're for it?
To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. To be honest with you, I mean, think of depending on the state. Depending on the state, every state's going to be different. But I think it's like an
Mm-hmm.
average of like $60,000 a year to keep someone in prison.
Ooh, Rylee getting in with the math
That's
here.
a that's a lot. It's a lot of money.
It is a lot.
If there is someone who has committed such disgusting crimes that
Mm-hmm.
we do not want them anymore.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, and that might be controversial because of just based off of your culture or religion or whatnot.
Mhm.
But I'm
Yeah, I
for
was gonna
that.
say a lot of people that are against it are like, oh, you're playing God and like you don't get the say of like someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what they did? Because majority of the people who are on death row or have been sentenced to death have killed someone and
Mm-hmm.
have taken someone's life and have done some unimaginable things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. On the same kind of topic, because I'm like kind of like scrolling through, like looking at different names. Neither one of us are parents, so I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard to speak from like a parent like mind standpoint. But the people that accidentally leave their kids in the back seat.
Oh, I don't think there's an accident about that. I feel like there could I and this is just me being I don't know everything and not thinking that I understand all the ways that a mind can work. Um I think there's a 1% chance where someone can be so mentally out of their mind where maybe they're not seeing something. And I'm talking about those people that were like, they have PTSD from a war and you find them like, you see those police calls where they are like holding what they think is like a gun and it's
Mm-hmm.
not, and they think they're like shooting back and they can't hear or see anything around them and they are legitimately like in some sort of war zone.
Mm-hmm.
If that person was a parent and they happened to have that at that exact time, there's like a maybe 1% chance I could be like, I can maybe understand. I think
Mm-hmm.
across the board, though, it's completely wrong. There's no excuse. I don't think it can be an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's just no excuse that you forget about your child and you go inside.
Yeah.
Like there's just no excuse.
The other day, I stopped at the store and I had Bo with me, and I literally stopped in for one thing and came back out. I was in the store for less than 5 minutes. My car
Mhm.
was on, the AC was
Mhm.
on, the
Mhm.
windows were up, and
Mhm.
um, you could see that my car was on. Like you could like tell that my car was on. And
Mhm.
when I walked out, there was like a maybe two or three people kind of standing around my car, and this like older gentleman was like, he was like, we were about to break your windows, like the dog was left in the car, like blah blah blah. And I was like, sir, my car is on. And I was like, the AC is blaring. And I literally opened up the door and Bo's like, hi
Hanging
guys.
out.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
hanging out, like
Yeah.
his fucking ears are flapping in the breeze. And I'm like, he's okay, he's okay. But like, I
Have you
don't
seen
know.
the Tesla mode for, like, the dogs in the
I
car?
have, and like
Have you
little
seen
little
that?
camera, and like you can like watch them.
Yeah, and it has, like, a screen, and it's, like, cars in dog mode, and people will put,
Mm-hmm.
like a note on the window, like, "AC is on, their
Yeah.
favorite show is on, they have snacks, I left
Paw
at
Patrol
this
is in
time."
play.
Right,
Yes.
"I left at this time, I'm gonna be gone for 10 minutes. If you would
Yeah.
like to watch my dog, you can watch my dog watch their show in the car." And it's just, like
The kind of a
it's kinda
different.
based.
Yeah, no, I would do
Yeah,
that. I would do that,
yeah.
but like I literally ran in and ran out. He was fine. My car was on. It was good. Like everybody was safe, happy, and secure. So don't come after me. Same kind of note. There's this video right now that is sparking a whole. He grabbed the biggest toy. Let me see it.
His toys are
Show
getting
'em.
bigger every episode. Oh, he's
Show 'em.
Elise fighting. Get it, Bo. Get it.
I
Oh,
don't
he
think you
can't
understand
fight
how big this dragon is. Let's see. Come here. Let me see it.
it. He's like, no, Mom, you gotta play with me.
It's huge.
It's massive. It's bigger than you.
It's a bit. Costco.
Ooh.
Wow.
Costco. Take note.
He actually, I got this for him for his birthday last year because he had a little green dragon that he was obsessed with when he was a puppy, and he would hold it in his
Aw.
mouth. And then, so sad. I don't know what happened to it. I think he probably like ripped it up, and I got rid of it. But I got this one because this is like the big version of that, and he hasn't touched it. And I think I have like my childhood stuffed animal, and I sleep with that every night, and like he knows like he can't like touch that one. But it's so funny because like he loves like I mean, you got him a little dinosaur. Like
I did.
He loves like little like plushy things, but he knows that he can't touch mine. So I think
That's
he
smart.
kind of correlated this with like
No
mine.
touchy.
Yeah, but like this is probably the first time that he's ever grabbed this. But tags are his thing. There's like a tag right here. I can guarantee you he's gonna rip it off. He
Oh,
loves
what a good
ripping tags.
boy.
See?
We don't like tags. No, they don't
Yeah.
belong. It's amazing he's had that for a year and hasn't destroyed it.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
It depends. My students, it was up here on the bed. They got him like one of those little tough toys, like a little shark.
Yeah.
He's been loving that. But what I was saying, there's a video that's sparking a whole bunch of controversy. So it was a husband and wife, a little bit on the, they're like probably like 40s. He looks a little bit older. He looks like he's probably like in his 50s. Wife is at least 35, if not. Damn, I look big right now.
You're jacked. You're jacked, Riles.
But they had the mother-in-law in town, and I guess it was like husband, wife, mother-in-law, dog. They went to this like super nice restaurant, brought the dog in. They're somewhere in California. Realized that they couldn't have the dog, so they sent her mom, mother-in-law, like person. They sent her back to the car to sit with the dog while the husband and wife went into the restaurant and ate.
Oh, like had a whole meal?
Like had a whole meal while the
Not
mother-in-law.
takeout?
No, while the mother-in-law and dog sat in the car.
Why would you do that? I mean, unless she, I am such a freaking defender of like, it's so annoying. It's so.
How about just find another restaurant?
Find another restaurant, have it to go.
So many other options you could have chosen there.
You can order to go food at the hostess stand.
Literally,
it's not that
so
hard.
many options.
Yeah, so you didn't have to let your mom. So she was your mom, and now she's mothering your dog because
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
It literally makes zero sense to me.
Yeah.
Same kind of note. We're talking about another one because true crime. Tracy Nix. So Tracy Nix was watching her 16-month-old grandson. She had a big property. This was in Florida. Big property. She had like a lake/pond kind of thing on the property. Turned her back for 5 seconds. 16-month-old son drowned. Died. I don't know if it was her daughter. I don't know if her daughter was already pregnant, had just had the baby, or got pregnant afterwards. She had another baby.
Oh no.
The granddaughter died in the car. 7 months old.
With the grandma?
Same grandma.
Hell no.
So your 16-month-old son, died by drowning in your mother's care, and now like probably a year, I don't know how long it was like in between, but like this point on afterwards, you said, "Hey mom, can you watch my daughter, my 7-month-old daughter?" She leaves her in her car and she dies. So both her grandson and her granddaughter, both of them.
Oh, that wasn't that. There's something intentional going on there. There's no way that that's a secondary freaking accident. There's no way. The first one, I mean, even so, I don't know. There's such common sense with like kids in water. There's such like and I need to be careful when I say that because a lot of things do happen.
Oh my god, she
that are
sentenced
outside
to
of
5 years in prison.
Maybe they couldn't maybe they couldn't prove something. Wait, no! They could prove the car won. That has to be way more than 5 years.
She was acquitted. No, she was acquitted of aggravated manslaughter and was sentenced to 5 years for leaving a child unattended in a car, causing great bodily harm.
Yeah, the bodily harm was them being unalived.
That's crazy. She
That is
met
insane.
up with friends for lunch and left her daughter in the car.
Yeah, I do not trust that lady. Also, keep talking. My audio's out of sync. I'm just gonna switch something real quick.
You're good. So December of 21, 60-month-old grandson died after he opened doors, went under a fence, and wandered into a pool. A 16-month-old opened a door, went underneath a fence, and went into the pond. And then November of 22 was when the granddaughter died.
That's disgusting. I mean, I'm surprised that the mom doesn't kill her herself, honestly.
That would you trust? I would never trust her again.
I would never trust her again.
Even if it was an accident. Even if it was an accident, I'm not.
And the spouse shouldn't either. Nobody in that damn family should be trusting that individual. And rightfully so. Here's the thing. Here's the one thing I feel like I'm not a parent.
Yeah.
If anybody were to cause my child harm, I would want to kill them. And I know a lot of parents have maybe had moments where they wanted to kill somebody. I feel like it should be free range. I feel like it should be free range. If somebody hurts your kid, you should have 100% permission to unalive them, whatever the correct internet freaking word is. That should just be, I feel like a lot of people would not act up with that. A lot of people would kind of be a little bit more straight. I am like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I saw a photo recently, and it was it's like it was probably like a 40-something-year-old guy and maybe like a guy a little bit younger than him. So the guy that was a little bit younger was in like prison get up, like you could tell they were in a courtroom, and the other guy's kind of like standing there with his hands on his hips, and they're both smiling at each other, like very close to not like super like awkwardly close, but like a couple feet like in between. He broke barrier. He has put a hole through the dragon.
Oh, the little puff is going down.
There's no chance here. Bobo is on the tail.
I see its fluffy little guts on the bed.
Yeah. But it was like, what do you think of this photo? Like, blah, blah, whatever. And like, I had no context of the photo, and I was like, I don't know. They were both smiling at each other. So I would have to look up the names. But the guy that was being arrested, like he was going to court, the context was kind of weird. I had to look it up, but it was like he hurt really badly. He unalived child touchers. And I was like, oh, okay, like whatever. Read a little bit more into it. Turns out they're brothers, and the younger brother ended up unaliving the person who had touched them as children. And he got sentenced for like 30 years or something, like 25 years.
30 years?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that should be fair. I feel like that should be fair. I think it's, I mean, they got away with it for that long.
Yeah.
After what, you go to the police and then nothing happens. Not saying police aren't good at their jobs or anything like that. However, I cannot imagine that someone was doing this serially for so long and there wasn't like a police report done about it. And maybe that comes down to having evidence. Maybe it comes down to what is it called when you can't like criminally charge somebody after a certain amount of time goes by? Window. It's like a window of some sort. Like you have to.
It's not window of legality. Jurisdiction.
It's like
window
it's something
of jurisdiction.
Something like that. Yeah, there's something like that. I don't know. I feel like
something else.
Oh my God, Rylee!
What? I get so excited.
She's on this true crime. Also, anybody watching, My lips are gonna be out of sync. I don't know what's going on.
They don't look out of sync to me.
They don't?
Mm-mm.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
maybe you're
didn't look
right.
out of sync the first time
Oh, okay.
that you had
Okay.
said that. Yeah, no, I
Okay.
think you're good. Okay.
Might just be getting a delay on this monitor. We're good then.
Yeah. The link between childhood TBIs and serial unalivers,
The link. Oh, I
like the
feel like
connection.
I think you might have told me this.
Yeah.
It's something about, is it they fall?
It's something okay, so people so like notable people like John Wayne Gacy, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, Ted Bundy,
Mhm.
Albert Fish, like all of these people suffered some type of brain damage when they were a child from whatever reason. So when we talk about TBI, so traumatic brain injury, we're talking about actual damage to the brain itself. Obviously, we all know that different parts of the brain control different things. So let me find it really quick so I don't say the wrong thing. So hold on.
I'm gonna go it's either the amygdala or the frontal cortex.
Yeah. So I was reading it was a study that was done on first responders with their amygdala. So people who are I know. So people who are first responders have a lower functioning amygdala. So amygdala is what controls like your emotional regulation and like aggression. So they took like a group of firefighters, they had a very low responding amygdala, like in the response of a burning building and them running into it. But
Mhm.
guess when their amygdala was activated?
The call
When they had to sit down with a therapist.
and
They
recall everything?
no, like just to talk about themselves. So they didn't have any reaction, like they didn't fear going into the burning building, but they feared like them like talking about themselves. It was wild. And I was like, "Huh?" And it was found that it was like 40 something percent.
Do you think there's a place for those people in society? The ones that just naturally don't have a reacting amygdala to danger?
Girl, why do you think we have special forces? I would send them in there. Send those guys in there and get their amygdala of their amygdalas looked at.
See, I think of it, I saw this thing, I don't remember where I saw it on. It might have been a Jordan Peterson. So trigger warning if you don't like Jordan Peterson. I don't have one
I
take
don't
one
know
way
who
or
that
the other.
is.
He's the old white guy with the gray hair who goes, "So yeah, occasionally you'll have the people that just think this way, right?" And so you go, "Well, why do they think this way?" He's kind of like taking on a face in like
Oh.
public psychology, and he has a lot of podcasts and he talks a lot. You have to know. I'm going to send you something after this. You have to know who he
Okay.
is.
What's his name?
Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
He has like this voice. Everybody can
Ah, the
recognize him by his
voice.
voice.
Yeah.
Everybody, I can't do his voice. It's hard to do.
I've never seen this man.
What? We are on different sides of the internet. That's totally okay. He was saying, yeah, Jordan Peterson.
I've never
Yeah,
seen this man before.
yeah, Jordan. You guys know Jordan Peterson. It's okay. We'll send Rylee a DM with Jordan Peterson. Everybody spam Rylee with memes of Jordan Peterson after this. Send it to her DMs on Instagram.
I'm not gonna look at him.
He goes into this talk where it's like why we have psychopaths, why they're important in our society, and like where they came from, basically like that lack of amygdala, that lack of like kind of panic. And basically like you needed, the biggest way our civilization grew back in the day when we were, tribal and we were invading things, and you can even go into like Vikings and you had to take over other tribes, other nations, whatever, is you always needed the people that didn't fear going out and basically taking out an entire village and then be able to function afterwards to be able to set up a village in its stead and not be affected by like the blood and the turmoil and the things that came like that. And so that's why that way of like brain development hasn't necessarily been weeded out, because we need people like that. And I totally agree. Do I think every person on the side of the road needs to be like an unfeeling individual? No. Do I think those people should like get away with bad things? No, it's not excusable. However, there are still places for them to exist and flourish in our society. For example, like you said, the special forces, people that are able to go out and do missions and, take care of things in a certain way that the average human cannot, is beneficial towards the success of our country. However, you might want to see that. First responders might be able to do that, but think about the amount that they can logically act in such an environment where their emotions might otherwise burn out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also wonder, can your amygdala, if you were to think of it like a muscle, can it become tired? Can it become accustomed? Like if I were to lift a 20-pound dumbbell in 3 months, it's going to be a lot lighter than if I had never worked out before. Is it something that can be trained or can be, in a sense, desensitized, is what I want to know, because that'd be very interesting.
Yeah. So I wonder if I don't know, because so like your pituitary gland atrophies like after puberty because you don't need like that like boost of hormones
Can you
anymore.
explain it, the non-medical of
Yeah, so
atrophy and what the pituitary gland
yeah,
does?
so the pituitary gland is essentially like it's releasing like growth hormone and like all your stuff during puberty that like makes you go into puberty.
Mhm,
And when something is atrophying, so if we add an A in front of anything, that means without, it stops growing and it actually shrinks.
mhm,
Um so something's atrophying, it's just getting smaller because it's not being used as much. So
mhm.
I wouldn't think that it would, but I also don't know if that's something that can be developed. Oh my gosh, what is her name? Her name's Jeannie. Jeannie or Jean Wild, maybe. She was a young girl.
Mhm,
This was like probably like 60s, 70s, 80s, somewhere in there. But
mhm.
basically, she was born into like a really shitty household. Like she was just born into like parents that didn't want her, like just a really bad situation.
Mhm.
So her father basically decided like what was going to be best for her was to keep her locked up in a closet and have zero
Oh,
social interaction like
yeah.
forever.
Oh, yeah. I
Um
remember this. There's
yeah, and he
there's
would
documentaries and studies on her.
yeah,
Yeah.
the dad would like scratch at the door and like make like growling sounds. She was found when she was 13. I think she was like
Mhm,
40 pounds when she was found.
mhm.
She was in a mental institute for the rest of her being. But she never was able to develop. Like she never was able to develop. But that goes back to like attachment styles and like how important like the parent's role is. I saw a
Mhm.
video on TikTok the other day. It was a mom
Face
and
TikTok.
it was an interesting view. So there's this mom that I follow on TikTok and I love her videos and I don't know her daughter's name. I think it's Winnie.
Mhm.
Her daughter's maybe like 7, maybe 8 months old and she makes videos and
Oh, she's a
her daughter
baby.
is, like, right here, like, on her, and she's like, "Alright, bubs, like, this is what we're doing today, like, da da da," and, like, the daughter's just listening to her, and, like, the mom is just
Oh.
absolutely yapping. So,
Mhm,
imagine that video of mom, like, having good, clear communication, like
mhm,
excuse me, the daughter's listening, like, all this stuff. The next video
mhm.
that I see is a new mom, kids around the same age, and she was like, "Hey, so listen." So she goes, "It was probably around 4 o'clock, and I was eating dinner or something, and I looked over and I realized that I had not spoken to my son all day." A 6 or
Oh.
7-month-old. Like, I have not spoken to him all day. Am I supposed to be talking to him? Like, am I supposed to be communicating with him? Am I supposed to be, like,
Mm.
telling him what I'm doing? And she's like she doesn't look that young, and she was basically like, "I just don't know, like, what I'm supposed to do with him all day." I go to the
Mm.
comments and, they weren't necessarily like, no one was calling her, like, a bad mom, but everybody was like, "Hey, this is super duper important for, like, growth and, like,
Mhm,
development and, like, how your child is going to interact
mhm.
every day."
Yeah.
You
What
had
do
said
you think about
something.
that? Like, the
Oh, I mean, like,
idea of
when my brothers were, like, so little, like, I
Mhm.
remember, like and it's so funny because, like, I do it with Bo now because I
Yeah.
feel like he's such like a, and this sounds like, judge me if you want, but like he's such a big part of my life. Like I feel like I have to come home and like tell him about my day. Like he knows all about my students and like the people that I work with and like whatever. And like
Aw.
he'll sit there and like he'll listen to me. Like, is he gonna respond? No, he's a dog. I'm also not psychotic and he's not responding to me. But like I don't, like, dude, like I'm doing that with my dog. Like you have a human next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to it.
Talk to it, Rylee.
Talk to them.
Oh my god.
I don't know, because it's so important. And
Yeah, it
whether
is.
you like it or you realize it or not, the way that you grew up, the way that you saw your parents interact, the way that your parents interact with you is going to
Mhm.
affect you for the rest of your life.
I have a question for you, and I've
Yeah.
I've asked this to a couple people, and there's
Mhm.
there's a spectrum of answers.
Mhm.
Let's say you're a parent, you have a kiddo.
Mhm.
How do you feel about arguing in front of your child? You and your spouse arguing in front of your child.
How old are they?
Let's pick an age where they can understand conversations and angers, and let's take on like some certain words. So let's go for like 5 to 7. So like a young,
Okay.
impressionable, but still
Mhm.
socially intelligent at that point, comparative to like a 2-year-old.
Sure.
Sparkly.
Screaming or yelling, absolutely not, because one, I will not be in a relationship where we deem that screaming and yelling is going to solve anything.
Mhm.
That's not going to happen. Do I think it's important for a young child to see a healthy disagreement between their parents? Yes.
Mhm.
Um, I think that voicing the emotions, like
Like
one
clear
of
communication
yes, like
kind of.
super clear
Yeah.
communication. Like
Yep.
one of the things that like I've started like saying recently, like at work, instead of like you fucking suck, I'm being like, you know, being more more
Rylee!
professional. I'm saying, hey, I'm getting really frustrated with this situation right now because of A, B, and C, and we need to figure
Mhm.
out like how to like sit down and like do that. So like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Let's say Jimmy needs to go get picked up at 5 o'clock to go to soccer practice,
Mhm.
and they forgot. Hey,
Mhm.
I'm getting really frustrated right now. Like, I sent you a calendar invite to pick up Jimmy at 5, and like
A
this, it
calendar
just,
invite to your
I don't fucking
spouse.
know. I'm just imagining like that's
Babe,
fucking
before
crazy.
while we have our coffee, let's review each other's email. Okay, yes, I see you CC'd me here. Yes, fantastic.
People
Did you get
actually do
mine
that shit. People
about the
actually
groceries?
fucking do that shit.
Girl, I don't want to be CCing a spouse. Are you kidding
Girl. Listen, I got I
me?
got a fat ass calendar in my kitchen. I love it. I rate
I
everything
love
on it.
calendars. I love calendars. I will
Same.
never email you though, Rylee. Like I will text her. I will
I don't
call
know. I'm
you.
just saying, like, hey, like, I put it in your calendar for like 5 p.m. to like pick up Jim. Like,
Yeah, that's
who's naming
okay.
their child Jim in 2025? Whatever.
Don't say that. I know some gyms.
Newborn Jims. You know, newborn Jims.
Do you guys know newborn gyms? If so, back me up in the comments. If not, back up Rylee.
It's like naming your newborn Bertha. Oh, Bertha.
I'm so sorry, Bertha, that you're watching this right now.
I'm
You are
sorry too,
loved,
Bertha.
and
You
you
are
are
loved. You are cared
appreciated.
about. We care about you. We love you. Thank you for being here, Berth. Love you, girl.
Rylee!
It is, but like I also feel the same way about the people that are naming their children like Sunshine Go Lucky. The fuck? The fuck?
Is that my generation or is that your generation?
That is my generation.
Let's go.
Yeah. Actually, there was a name. I loved it. I saw it today. No idea who this creator is. She just had a baby. She named her daughter Alaska,
Alaska.
but
That's
with a
actually
Y.
Alaska?
That's what it looks like, but it's pronounced just Alaska.
Of course it is. That's
Yeah.
cute. I think that's
Yeah.
a cute one. I can see Paris. I can see
I just think of Paris Hilton and
I know.
I think of Eloise,
It's bougie.
like Eloise of the Tipton Towers. Do you remember that
Mm,
book?
mm,
I loved that
mm-mm,
book.
mm-mm.
She was a little girl that I read somewhere that Zach and Cody, you know Zach and Cody?
Yeah.
That Zach
Sweet
and Cody
life.
was based off of
Yes.
Eloise in the Eloise and the Tipton Towers, because they were at the Tipton Towers in Zach and Cody.
I
It's
thought
just
it
a
was based off
childhood
of
book.
Paris.
I think it's Eloise. Is it Eloise in the? I think it's the Tipton Towers.
I've never read this. Have you read this? If so, leave a comment down below. If so, what would you rate the book on a star rating? 5 stars being the max.
Oh, maybe it wasn't Tipton Towers. Eloise book. I know it was Eloise because I got a dog. I was young. I think it's just called Eloise. Oh
Eloise
my
is a cute.
gosh. This book is going for $2,500.
What? Do you have a copy?
Oh, for sure. Eloise at the Plaza. I'm sure I do. It was just it's a childhood. It's like a children's book.
Oh, I never read it.
She's a little blonde girl, but she lives at the Plaza, which is the hotel.
Huh.
Yeah, she's just a little blonde girl. Where were we going with this? Eloise.
Um,
Love that name. But I had a dog.
Yes.
She was a little teacup chihuahua, and I named her Eloise because she had like the same blonde hair as Eloise.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think Eloise is super cute. I love like classy names. Like
love
I think like
classy
the names
names.
like Charlie, Jack, like I think those names are like fine at like any age, but like do you know what names are becoming super popular? Let's see how you feel about this. Honey?
Honey?
Honey. I think it's an adorable nickname.
I think it's sweet. I just also think of, what's the stereotype about like young soldiers marrying an individual from a certain workplace and her name is Sparkles?
Oh, I don't think of that. I think I correlate that with like
Cherry or I don't know.
Starlight and
Starlight
Sprinkles and
Sugar, something like that.
Cupcake. Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
That's what I think of.
Yeah.
I
There
don't
was
I
there
don't
was
want
a
to do the name Honey.
there was
Here's
a
the thing.
cre-
Go. I will keep it.
sorry.
Go.
There was a girl creator. She named her daughter Murphy. They had her realize that they didn't like Murphy. I think Murphy's actually really cute.
Murphy's in Interstellar.
I never watched that movie, but I like boy names. I like boy names for girls. Like
You like
Murphy's
boy names
cute.
for girls? And a
Like
girl. You gotta
Blake
watch
Lively.
Interstellar.
Yeah.
It's like
My
a
name's
both. It's like a
Rylee.
both. Yeah, that's true. I do like the both names.
Yeah.
I feel like names though create who your personality is going to be. I'm not going to lie, I have a biasness. I have a biasness there. I'm convinced that certain names create a certain, like if you think of a type of name in your head, and all those people have the same personality, that's enough confirmation bias that I need to be 100 convinced, right, that is a factual thing. So I am so careful
Yeah.
when it comes to names. Do you have any names like picked out?
Yeah.
Would you ever say them on air?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. I have a
keep it.
list.
I feel like so many girls have lists.
I've had a list since I was like 13.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like every time I see a name, I just add to it.
Yeah, it's a good. Have you seen? I've been scrolling on TikToks and sometimes I'll come across like it's like old school like baby names for girls or like old school baby names for like boys.
Yeah.
And I'll just like scroll and I'm like, oh, these are so pretty.
Oh,
And
I
then
love this
sometimes-
one. Add it to the list.
Yeah, just take a mental note. I'll never
Yeah.
say because I don't want to jinx. I don't want anybody to take it. I'm like, whenever this happens one day, I'm taking this name.
Yeah.
I'm taking it.
There's another girl I just saw a video of, and she's I guess they like didn't have a name picked out, and they had their daughter, and it's some people. So really common practice in the UK. I have a friend. Her name's Sophie. Really common practice that they will just call the baby like Jones. Let's say they use the last name Jones. They'll call them baby girl Jones up until their first birthday. And then on their first birthday, once they know the baby and like they have like a personality, they will name the baby on their first birthday.
Do they have social security numbers in the UK?
I don't know. I have no idea. But that's what they did for her. And her name is like her, like to a T. Like that name is her. But you know, social security called and they were like, hey, like we're coming up to like get the name, and they were like looking at the baby and they were like, what do we do? Picked a family name. Family name was Margaret.
Okay.
And
Margaret.
Yeah.
Margaret.
And the common nickname for Margaret is
Margarita.
Maggie.
Maggie.
I think Maggie
Maggie.
is adorable. I think Maggie is so cute. But she's like sitting there talking. She was like, "We've tried everything. Molly, Marge." And I'm like, "Girl, Maggie, call her
Marge?
Maggie." I'm right. Like she's a newborn. And she
She's
was
not a
like,
grown woman.
I know. And she was
Uh,
like, "We're gonna switch the name. Like, I feel terrible, but like we're gonna switch the name." And I'm like, waiting to see. They switched it to Madeline. I love the name Madeline. I think I think
Madeline.
Madeline is so like,
Yeah.
I don't know. If you
You
were to
call her
see me,
Lynn,
I feel like
Maddie.
I know your name is Hammy, but like you look like a Madeline.
Hey, I appreciate it. That's a
I could
classy
see
name.
it. Like I
That's a
could
classy
see it.
name.
What would you think my name is?
Ooh. Mm. I feel like a princessy A name, honestly.
Hmm.
Like I could see like Abigail. I could also see like a Disney princess, like I could see like Aurora.
Okay. I
I
was
could
supposed to
see
be
that.
Logan
Logan.
with a Y. I was
Ooh,
supposed to be
that's cute.
Logan or Lauren. I can see myself as a Lauren.
I can see you as a Lauren.
I can also see myself as a Logan.
I can see a Logan.
Yeah, because I feel like Rylee is very
Riley's
gender
cute.
neutral. Yeah, very
It
gender
is, but
neutral.
it's cute. Did you know that oh my gosh, what was the name? Lindsay used to be a guy name, like back before like
It's
1980,
like
70. Used to be like a guy.
like Kelly. I know a lot of male Kellys. I know a couple of male Aubreys.
Really? First
Yeah.
names?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
I can't see a male Brittany. I can't see that ever making a change.
No, don't know any male Sallys.
I do like the Russian Sasha. That's a male name in Russia.
Okay. Like
Sasha.
Sorsha, like the Irish spelling or like Sasha.
I think it's Cyrillic, so I don't know. But it's like it's Sasha. La, 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 la,
Well, you
la.
know the other spelling is Sasha. It's like Sorsha. It's Sorsha. Sorsha.
Oh, I haven't seen that. No.
I think that's pretty. I don't know
I
if I
think
would do that.
mm-mm. I like that as like because it's like a Sasha's kind of like a girl name for us, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it wears like Russian masculinely. Like I think it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I love like Blake Lively. Like I love the name Blake.
Do you think Blake Lively's her real name?
I don't know. Probably not. Do
I have
any
a
of them use their real name?
I have a conspiracy theory that all celebrities have a fake name
Okay, fair.
or a stage name that we have as their real name.
Billie Eilish. I think
Billie Eilish.
Billie's adorable. I hate Billie for a boy, but Billie for a girl is like cute.
It
I'm also
is.
traumatized because when I was in the second grade, I grew up with this kid named Billy, and we were in the second grade, and I remember Billy barfed all over the desk. And then it was like a chain reaction of just barf. And then there's a
Ew.
student teacher and she barfed.
Ugh.
Just
Are
like,
you a
"Ugh."
sympathetic like gagger barfer?
No.
I'm not either. I have a friend who
I
is.
don't know if I want to hear it. One of my classroom rules is no gagging.
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. I literally can't.
It's the gag
Excuse
sound.
me. Oh, excuse me.
Riley, excuse
It's a burp.
you.
No, I have a metaphobia.
What's that?
The extreme fear, irrational fear. Not really irrational. I can rationalize it. Of vomiting.
Can you yourself vomit or will you fight that down to the best of your ability?
I don't even talk about it. I've been in therapy
Dang.
for years for it though.
Really?
Years and years.
Wow. What does
Very long
therapy
time.
for that look like?
Different things. So like through the therapy that I've gone to, like the last like couple of years, we figured out what like started it. We figured out like what the triggers are. So basically for me, if it's a patient, right, like it's a little different when I'm at work. It's the after where I'm scared that I'm gonna get sick. If I get anxious, I have anxiety, like it's fine. Like if I get anxious, I think that my belly hurts, and then I get more anxious because my belly hurts, and then it's like this never-ending fucking doom circle of just
Yeah.
whatever. they wanted to do. I attempted to do EDMR therapy.
Oh, is it EMDR?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something eye rapid movement, something or
Mhm.
another, but it's low key like hypnosis.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard that that's really good for they found a lot of progress using that with veterans who had war PTSD. They
Mhm.
found a really big benefit in using that for those types of
Yeah.
patients. A lot of positive outcomes from that.
Same with people to stop smoking cigarettes. You know, my grandmother back in like the 80s was hypnotized out of smoking cigarettes.
Do you believe in hypnotization?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's like a weird part of your brain that can get it's the amygdala.
Oh my god. I
I
feel
didn't
like that
even I didn't even
what is
finish going on that soapbox
Oh, what was it?
about the different parts of the brain. It's okay. We're on a
Go,
totally different
go.
topic.
Circle it now, circle back, circle back.
Circle back.
They'll be upset we didn't finish it.
Okay,
They'll be
sorry.
upset we didn't finish it. Yeah, we're circling back here. This is how you have a good communication with girls. You ramble off, and then you both
We
realize,
started
okay,
talking
hang
about
on.
baby names.
Yeah,
We went from
let's jump back.
serial killers to serial unalivers to baby names.
The sense doesn't have to be there.
Doesn't have to be there, but we're there.
Nope.
TBI's linked with later on. So TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Yes.
Portion of the brain is getting hurt. Amygdala controls emotional regulation and aggression. That's when we started talking about the first responders, whatever. If the amygdala gets damaged, they lack the emotional regulation and the aggression factor. So like, you know, they drop something, it's immediate like 100% aggression, whatever. Frontal cortex, prefrontal cortex controls decision making, judgment and impulse control. So so prefrontal front, they lack impulse control, right? They see something, they immediately take it, they want it. The decision making, maybe I shouldn't think about, or maybe I shouldn't like unalive someone. They do it anyway. Temporal lobe is memory and behavior. So your temporals, there you go. Good job. I had a chart. So John Wayne Gacy was also known as the clown. He's the clown guy. There was like an actual name for him. He dressed up as clowns and then he killed boys, didn't he?
I don't
Unalive
know.
boys? I think he did. Hold on. Gotta
The only
fact
clown
check
I can
my...
think of is the theater guy in Oregon.
Who are you thinking of?
There's a guy that dresses up as a clown. Batman Dark Knight was coming out.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. In Aurora, Colorado. Yeah,
I
I know what
don't
you're
go
talking
movie
about.
theaters anymore.
Same. John Wayne Gacy. Who's the KFC guy?
Colonel Sanders?
No. He owned Colonel Sanders. He owned different KFCs, and that's like how he like got his victims. Pretty sure this is the same guy. This dude looks fucked up. The clown killer. Yeah, I was right. He was known as the clown killer. From 1972 to 1978, 33. 33 people.
Whoa.
Yep. 33 people. Buried them in his home. I think they were all boys. But he suffered a blow to the head as a child, was passed out for several days. After he woke up, he was not the same person, extreme dual personality and impulsive unalivings. Like they were never planned. It was he felt it and did it. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, he broke into people's houses. They couldn't catch him for a really long time. He was diagnosed with epilepsy at the age of 2 after a head trauma. He was violent, sadistic tendencies. He was the one who did the palm. He carved the circle with like the star, like the sadistic thing in his palm.
Oh.
Super famous like courtroom photo. That was him. Albert Fish. If Albert Fish is the guy that I'm thinking of, he like took the skin of his people. That might be someone else. Fell from a tree at the age of 7, lost consciousness for days. He had psychotic behavior. Let me look up Albert Fish to make sure that it's the guy that I'm thinking of.
You're
I
thinking of the guy
watched.
that was based off of Silence of the Lambs? John something Green was
Yes,
the skin guy.
he made the nipple lamp.
He made a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Albert Fish, 1870 to 1936. Three unalivings. 10, 13.
Verified.
3 plus
Hmm.
reported. That was also a different time. Wild. But yeah, head injuries. Ted Bundy too. But
Mhm.
they're linking it with CTE. Cerebral something. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
What is that root word for?
We're talking about the brain. It's just talking about it's talking about some ceph just means it's brain itself and is meaning like in. Pathy, we're talking about like origin, so it's just long-term damage within the brain.
Okay. I was trying to
Yeah.
put it together.
Yeah, that's all that's talking about.
So do you think it's fair on
Um,
a first date that ladies and gentlemen should be asking, "Hey, do you have any childhood brain injuries?"
it's fair. Sue me. I think it's fair.
I
Do
think
it.
it's fair game.
Do
Just
it.
don't answer why until like if there's like a third or fourth date. Don't answer the why they ask. Like,
Yeah.
oh, if we make it to the fourth date, I'll tell you it's cute, it's funny. But I'm gonna write you down in my journal though, real quick, if you answered yes.
They're finding that out with football players too. There was a guy, what was his name?
Oh.
Aaron Rodriguez? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I don't, but I do know. I know a couple people, yeah, and then the head
Mark-
injuries from
Aaron
the
Hernandez.
football. Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Hernandez. He unalived one of his friends. Or was it his wife? It was either his friend or his wife. I don't remember what it was. But then he unalived himself. He got a autopsy done, which is when he was diagnosed with the CTE. And they
Interesting.
tried saying that that was why his behavior had changed because he lost the impulse control, he lost the rationale, he lost the ability to regulate and everything else.
Interesting. But
Yeah.
what is interesting though is you do have people that have that,
Mhm.
and then you have people that have had that and honed it in are able to use that in terms of like a profession,
Yeah.
which is a very interesting like human animalistic like adaptability, like
Yeah.
adaptive type of thing. I know you probably know this, surgeons score higher on like sociopathy than other people, which kind of makes sense because you're cutting people open all day.
Mhm.
And being able to like do that successfully, routinely, does take like a different type of person. I wonder if there's something where like if you get it at a younger age and you're in this type of environment where you can grow up and then get into something where you're in some sort of special forces like category to be able to
Mhm.
like you can control that enough and then seek out something that will kind of allow you to act in that way, or if you get it by a certain age, then it's kind of more destructive because there hasn't been enough like neural pathway connections, because the brain
Yeah.
can rebuild certain things from a younger age, but after a certain age it has a difficult times like reconnecting those synapses. But it's interesting that there's a spectrum of people that get it.
Jeffrey
And like,
Dahmer was a 68 whiskey.
shut up.
Yes, you didn't know this?
No.
Yes, he was a 68 whiskey, and then he got stationed in Germany and then was released for he was discharged for
For what?
touching. Battalion as a 68 whiskey. It was cut short due to his struggles with alcoholism,
Damn.
and he reportedly essayed someone during his time.
Hmm.
Although the claims were never officially charged.
That's interesting.
Yeah, basically his dad hit him with like an ultimatum and said, like, you can either do this or you can do that. Jeffrey Dahmer, guess what? He had a head injury as a child. He fell off
Oh
a
my
swing or
God.
something.
That's scary.
Yeah, girl. I've
Every
been on the
parent's gonna
rim.
be like, their kid's gonna hit their head and they're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna watch you for the next 7 years for any like weird killing of bugs or something
Mhm.
like that.
Do you know what's one of my favorite things to teach people? I have to sit up for this. Gotta hone in.
What is it?
One of my favorite things to tell people is that when I ask, or like when I teach TBIs, I'll be like, all right, has anyone ever had a coma? Jesus, let me start that over. One of my favorite things to teach people is like when I'm teaching like neuro or like TBIs and stuff, I will ask
Mhm.
people if they have ever had a concussion.
Concussion.
Without a doubt, at least 80% of the classroom will raise their hand. Okay.
Mhm.
Go around. How'd you get a concussion? Well, I fell. I was playing football, like blah, blah, blah. It was a lot of the times during their childhood. I go, okay.
Mhm.
Said, how many of you guys went to the hospital? Out of that 80%,
30?
75% of them will raise their hand again. So I lost
Oh,
maybe 2 or 3.
okay.
Well, okay. When you guys went to the hospital, what did they do? And they all go, I got a CT, I got an MRI. Like, one person was like, oh, I got like the head turning test, the tilt table test is what we call it, like blah
Mhm.
blah blah, whatever. And I said, do you know why you were diagnosed with a concussion? And a couple of them, they say, no, I wasn't diagnosed with I never got like a scan or anything. I
Mhm.
said, a concussion is an educated guess by a doctor.
Mm.
Because with a concussion, there is no actual physical damage to the brain. That means that if you hit your head and we run it in a CT or an MRI, there is no changes to your actual brain itself. But a concussion is still considered a TBI.
Can't you see the bruising at all?
There is no bruising. There is no bruising.
Oh.
So concussion is at like the very, very bottom, and then you have contusions. You have like cerebral contusions,
Oh, and
which
that's
is
physical damage
that
to
is
the brain.
physical damage to the
Oh, okay,
brain.
okay, okay,
With
okay, okay.
concussions are an educated guess.
I feel like I
Doctor
heard
says,
that
"Hey,
somewhere.
yeah, I know that you fell and you hit your head. But there's nothing that's showing up, but you lost consciousness for a couple of minutes. You don't really remember. You have retrograde amnesia. You're
Mhm.
nauseous. You threw up, maybe. You saw
Mhm.
stars or dizziness.
Mhm.
That's a concussion.
Hmm.
Multiple concussions can lead to CTEs. But if it is a concussion, there's no physical damage to the actual brain itself. Therefore, it cannot cause CTEs.
There's a lot of people right now listening to this counting their multiple concussions and then, like, having a little bit of a crisis and like, "Oh, no.
Yeah,
Is the next one gonna be it? Is the next one gonna be when it happens?" That's
I don't know.
crazy.
I hope not. The best thing that I can tell you is that if you ride a motorcycle, to wear a helmet. If you have young children that are playing football, make sure that they wear a well-fitting helmet with the
Mhm.
correct protective gear,
Mhm.
so that their brain isn't bouncing around inside of their skull. No coup counter
Mhm.
coup injuries in here.
Mm.
That's from car accidents.
That sounds familiar.
So coup counter coups usually come from like a car getting like rear-ended, but your head goes forward. The anterior part of your brain
Oh,
hits here,
yeah.
and then the posterior part rips,
Girl, I
tears.
literally haven't heard that since I was in your class. I
Coup counter
literally
coup.
I was like, "I know that's like a sleeper cell in there somewhere, but I've never
Hey,
activated
she's
it."
in there. It was so funny.
Okay.
My
There's
students.
a question on there, I'm sure. Everybody pay attention. I'm sure there's a question on the dual freaking I can't remember, okay? But I'm it sounds it's it's somewhere in
Yeah,
there.
my students today, because I always tell them I'm really confident, like with my knowledge and like my teaching. Like I really do. I think that I'm a great instructor. Like I think that I'm good at like delivering the material,
Mhm.
and I'll hype myself up. Like I have my old students come in and like they'll hype me up and like whatever. Like it's okay. But I tell my students like with confidence that
guys, there's questions that you guys are going to ask me and I'm going to have no idea and we're going to figure it out together. I said, I like to make guesses first and then Google it just to see how far off I am. And sometimes I'm completely wrong and sometimes I'm close. So today was my first time teaching this class and I was like, hey guys, like how we feeling? Like what's going on? They're like, honestly, not as bad, like blah, blah, blah. And this one kid was like, I like how you like explain like da, da, da. And then this girl raises her hand. She goes, could you like slow down? And I was like, girl, honestly, to be honest with you, no, I cannot slow down. I said, but what you can do is you can tell me.
Fast-paced.
Oh, it's so fast-paced and I'm so fast-paced. I say that my brain is like a computer system and I have all of these files in here and there's so much knowledge that I have to like pull them all out. And if I don't get them out in time, my brain is not going to function how it needs to be. So I need to get it out or else I'm literally going to start buffering.
And then to also support why it has to be fast is you're getting your EMT certification in how many months? 2?
2 when it's typically like a 6-month to like a year-long program.
Yeah. So like if you were to slow down, like yes, you can explain things. If you were to, there would be legitimate gap of information because it is like drinking through a fire hose, 100%. So there is reason why it has to be fast, and that's unfortunately in the military. Every learning environment from here on out is going to be exactly that. It never stops, never. Everything.
Precisely.
Literally, wait till you get your CDCs.
That's all on you too. CDCs are 100% on you. Do you know it's open book now? All your hopes and dreams gone. Yeah. Girl, I remember struggling. I remember struggling on the test.
Everyone struggles.
Yeah, it was.
You have to struggle. That we all share the struggle of the stupid books. This one, then this one, then this one, then this one. It's open book.
Open book.
Anybody, any students?
If you're not walking out of there without 100,
we had excuses. We had excuses.
I had to teach myself what EMEDS was. The fuck?
Oh. Oh my god. And of course, it's nothing you learned in tech school. It's just a whole bunch.
It's nothing.
Nope. You just went through all that. You have to retain all that. Learn how to do that at your job. And then here's 16 books. Each one's 25 pounds each.
I think they got an book. I think they switched it to the first set. I think the first set is 2. They switched it. I think the first set is 2. The second one is 1. I could be wrong. I don't know. Girl, 7-level CDCs? Those shits are no joke. That is not a joke either. That shit was hard.
How would you explain CDCs to non-military people?
What is it? Continuing
career development
courses?
Curriculum?
Yeah. Basically, it's like if
I'm
gonna use
how to be an
McDonald's
airman
for an example. I'm gonna use McDonald's for example. If you start as a cashier at McDonald's, but you want to move up to be the assistant manager, you essentially have to teach yourself the job of the assistant manager and then take a test on it. Great. Now you're the assistant manager. You want to be the manager. You have to teach yourself what the job of a manager is and then test for it.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's not necessarily just, do they have it so it's just their job? So medical just learns medical CDCs? Or do they still have the beginning where it's like how to be like an airman and like
I never did that.
I feel like I just remember there was like tests and it wasn't anything medical. It was like how to
like in your CDCs?
I feel like there was. I feel like there's like non-medical. There's a non-medical test and there's a medical test. And it was like how to follow in like your chain of command, how to like where does your shirt fall? It was a bunch of other stuff like if you were to correct
basic?
Somebody. No, I remember I took it when I got there. It was like if you were to correct a young troop, like which education, like which method would you best use and it was stuff like, I don't remember if it was geopolitical or not. I can't remember, but the study material was, there's like a medical side and then there's a non-medical side. Maybe that was old. Maybe it was just at my base. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that might have been specific to your base because I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was mad. I was like, none of this is medical.
I was mad when I showed up to my base and I had to take the EMS protocols test. That shit was hard.
Oh.
It was hard.
This was hard. Oh, poor Riles.
It's
Poor
fine.
Riles. Yeah, you get to your base. Guess what? There's tests waiting for you. All of you.
Oh, I played such
Just
a good joke on my class today. I was like talking about whatever, and I was like, yeah, I was like, so you guys will take the NRMT on this date, and then from here on out, it's yearly. And like it took them a second, and they were like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, it's just a yearly exam, guys. Like you just have to pass it again, and then you're good. And they were like, wait, sorry, no, we weren't told this. And I was like, haha, got you. I was like,
so
but you do
mean.
have to refresh every 2 years and do your trauma and your medical skills all over again. So
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And that's going to be nice because it'll be with your coworkers. It'll be like with like people that you know, and like it'll be a smaller like knit group. It's not like you're going to be going off in some classroom. Like it'll be in a classroom, but it'll be with familiar staff. So it'll be less informal than what you have now because it might be your homie that you're learning from, and it's a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
At least for us, we were able to be like, and it's always, this is what's in the book, but this is what. Yeah.
Oh, ours was ran by a paramedic prior TI. He was like 6'8". He was huge. He was huge. And we had 20 minutes for medical and trauma, and they refused to cut the time short. Like you had to take the entire 20 minutes.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, this is not how we do this. And he was like, shut up. And I was like, okay. That's fine too.
By the book, we're doing the 20 minutes. We're slotted for the 20 minutes.
No, there's like 15 of us in the class.
Oh, how are you feeling now that everything's done and you're transported?
Yeah, I was like, we're like transporting in the back of the ambulance. And
here's your check-in paperwork from the hospital.
No, I was totally being a smart ass at this point because it's a
Rylee. Oh,
I'm like sitting here and I'm like, so you come here often? Like, what was I supposed to do? Like,
it's about a 15-minute ride.
We'll be there. We'll be there soon. Like, sorry.
You want to pick up some Chick-fil-A on the way? You could get hungry. You never know.
Sorry, sir, it's a Sunday, so
yeah.
Like,
oh my god.
I don't know. Well,
God, I remember that.
Good times.
Yeah.
It's time.
It's time. We flew through that. Dang.
We did.
Yeah.
It was fast.
It was fast.
That's the way.
A little bit of a PSA. Our next podcast episode is going to look a little different. I'm not going to say what. I'm not going to say how. It's going to look a little different. And that's it. I think you should be excited. It's not anything bad. It'll look different for a little while, and then it'll go back to something. It'll go back to this, but it'll be nice. It'll be nice.
That means that you need to watch next week.
Yeah, you need to watch next week and click the subscribe button.
Yeah, make sure you guys are subscribing to us. Make sure that you're.
I think it's under you. I think the subscribe's under you. It's something. I think it's like right there. Do you see it?
Somewhere.
It's somewhere.
My toes.
Girl, keep those off the camera.
Off camera, no toes. Make sure that you're subscribing to us over here, giving us a like, and following us over on Instagram. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you already.
Yes.
In advance.
Thank you. And thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Can't wait to talk to you guys in the comments.
Yeah. Be good.
Bye.
Bye.